All right, today I'm here with Jessie Schwartz, correct?
That's right.
And you served in the military for what branch?
Both Air Force and Army.
Oh, wow. Which one?
I went into the Air Force in '79 and had 25 years of separation before I went back into the Army.
Oh, wow. What made you want to go back after the 25 years?
A couple things. One, my oldest boy had already been deployed several times, and my youngest one was going to be coming in with me at some point. So I wanted to serve with my boys.
That's incredible.
The other reason was because when I first got out, I had been considered a veteran with some benefits, including the VA and preferential hiring points, things like that. Later, as time went on, I found out that those had been taken away, and they considered you. At that time, when I went in the first time, there was no war going on, and so about that. Yeah, there was no war going on or anything like that, and because of that, the Congress had gone back in and made a change, and decided to take some of those benefits away, saying that you were considered only a veteran if you'd served during wartime.
Oh, wow. Okay.
As if that was the fault of all the people
Yeah,
who served during non-war, right?
Yeah, like, oh, I signed up and signed on the dotted line, but since because there wasn't a war going on,
Right.
I'm kind of screwed. Yeah, that's not
So
right.
that really irritated me, and so I thought, okay, I'm going to go back in. I'll go deploy and serve and get my veteran status back. So those were the two reasons I went.
That's
back
incredible. Excuse me, the year that you went back in, what year was that?
2006.
Wow. How old were you?
I was can't remember. I think I was about 48 at the time. 48, and
What did the recruiter say?
well, I went to several different branches trying to get back in. Nobody would take me. I was too old, and so eventually I found a recruiter who was had been doing it for 2 weeks, and he was new and he was hungry, and we managed to get Washington to write me a waiver and get me back in. So
Wow.
at that time, and I came back in as a private. I didn't get any.
Yeah, it wouldn't start. It would start over.
Yeah, I went all the way back to the very beginning, and so I was the Army's oldest private.
That's incredible. So, did you get deployed?
I did. I went over in 2010.
Wow.
Yeah.
So then, when did you retire again?
Well, I was had some injuries while I was deployed, and so I wound up being medically retired. I got put into the Wounded Warrior unit when we got back from deployment, and I stayed there for about 5 years while
Yeah.
they were getting me medically retired.
Yeah, I figure out. Gotcha. Man, God bless you. That's an incredible story. I mean, not a lot of people. And you know what's interesting? I've actually taken a few gentlemen out that wanted to do what you did. They were especially after 9/11, that were just like, let me back in. I'm ready to go. And they're like, look, dude, you're 50. You can't do that. And that, God bless you, that you're able to do it. That's incredible.
Well, I saw a lot of guys after I had come back that managed to, some a little bit younger, some a little older, come back in. I think Jerry Jacobs followed me in after I had gone.
I remember that.
He wasn't anywhere close to my age,
Yeah.
but he was still at an age that most people didn't come in. And but the funny thing was that I found that as I was going through the schools and the different trainings and everything like that, that it was the guys my age or the older guys that were coming back in that were able to do more than what the guys that were brand new coming in. They didn't have the endurance, they didn't have the strength, they didn't have the
Mental stability.
They did not have that for
Yeah,
sure.
that's a huge, huge thing.
Yeah, so there's advantages to bringing guys in that are more mature and experienced and understanding what they're getting into.
I agree, hugely. I mean, I wouldn't even say that I was at least in adult maturity until at least 26, 27 years of age.
Oh yeah, I went in the first time
yeah.
at 18, and I wasn't mature enough at that time
No.
really to do. I did it, but I
Yeah.
wasn't mature enough.
Hell
at the
no.
time.
Yeah, and that is definitely a problem and a thing that you see repeatedly. And I think maybe the government looks at it like it's a liability for someone older to get in physically, but mentally, I think you're so much more prepared for what you're going to do and what you're going to see than an 18-year-old kid who just gets the romantic idea of what it's going to be like. Here's $20,000, and you're like, shit, man, I've never seen this amount of money in my life, and then you're gone, and then 2 years later, you're a completely different person than you were when you were 18.
Well, they weren't even ready physically. Those young kids weren't. Many times I went to school, and half the group was put in a special population. It was called special pops, because they couldn't pass their PT test, or they couldn't tape, or whatever the case is. And yet the guys that were older were
killing it,
getting the 300 on their PT scores and things like that, because they wanted to. First of all, it's hard because you're coming in older and everybody's expecting less of you, which means you have to try twice as hard.
You got to prove them
to make sure that people don't think that that it was a mistake bringing you back to begin with.
Yeah, God, that's an incredible story, man. That's super cool. I was not expecting that today. So thank you very much for coming in today and having lunch with me, and your service as well, twice. It's incredible.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
That's a great example. So I understand you're a painter, correct?
Right.
An artiste, if you will. And you've got a pretty cool exhibit, I was looking for the word, coming up at Classic Rock Coffee Company, correct?
Yeah, February 1st is the beginning of the art show. And what it is it's a display of my chromatic pop icons, and they're the classic rock icons that I do. So when I paint iconic images over time, whether it be through history or television, radio, that type of thing. And with Classic Rock Coffee, I do the series of classic rock icons.
Okay, gotcha. That's awesome.
So I paint large images in a chromatic pop style that I created. And they're about 4 foot by 4 foot of images of people such as Janis Joplin or David Bowie or just some of the greats, Jimi Hendrix, so on. So a lot of those paintings will be out there for at least a month in February.
It's cool. I cannot wait to go see it. It's awesome. And if someone, do you have a website or anything people can check out your work at?
Yeah, if they want to go to studio13artwork.com, they can go there and take a look under the featured exhibit. That will be the chromatic pop images that I do. I do a lot of things, from sculpting to you name it. But that particular series will be under the featured gallery.
That's awesome. Well, again, thank you.
I appreciate it.